The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
The Showdown Podcast with Corey and Vic. A debate on what movie is better, Corey's choice versus Vic's choice. They each plead their case and try to destroy the others. It's a combat of subjective opinion. I'm Brad Scott, your impartial judge, and as always, my say is final. Welcome to episode 33 of the Showdown Podcast, the Brent Terhune Memorial Invitational Classic featuring Brent Terhune. Presented by Mr. Turkey. The album drops August 7th on iTunes. Today's fighters, the challenger, Corey, Child of the Corn, Miller, and his film, The Omen. And his opponent, the reigning Showdown Podcast champion, Victor, I'm Here, Late, Miller, and his film, Poltergeist. Gentlemen, let us diligently prepare to podcast. Telling you, British guy's worth every penny. Every time we have him on the show.
It's a long-ass trip, but that a couple minutes is
That's how much he loves the show. That's how much he loves the show. Welcome to episode 33, the Larry Bird episode. We are joined once again by friend of the show, I think we can say at this point.
Now, yeah.
Brent Terhune.
Hey, guys.
Brent is here, and we have a very interesting battle today. A lot of fucked up kids in this episode. It is Poltergeist versus whatever Corey had, the Omen. And Corey is the challenger. So Vic, are you going to go first? This is a rare instance of something we forgot to do before we started.
Nope, I'm going to go first.
Vic's going to go first, and Vic, of course, chose the classic 2015 film Poltergeist. It was just released a few months ago.
I saw it in the theater myself.
Yeah. Great film. So, Vic, tell us about that instant classic.
So, back in the 80s, because I'm doing the original.
Wait, that was a remake? They remade it in the 80s?
Exactly. I'm going back. It was a prequel.
I can't imagine.
It's a prequel. Yeah.
I can't imagine, honestly, anyone else being Eric Bowen other than Sam Rockwell.
It's a pre-make.
It's a pre-make. Yeah. So, Poltergeist. This movie is.
So they must have been using they must have been seeing the ghost through the original iPad in your movie because
there was an iPod Touch. Yeah. So, Poltergeist is a movie about a family who move into a little housing development that the father of the family, he sells these homes, and because he's done so well doing so, they've given him one of those homes to live in. He uproots his family and moves them into the neighborhood, getting them settled in, and some strange things start happening. Just little things, nothing really major, just kind of things that they think is kind of odd. Things start moving around a little bit. Things get shifted here and there. And slowly but surely it kind of ramps up and gets worse and worse and worse. The youngest daughter, she is constantly watching static on TV.
Now, the father is played by?
Coach.
Craig T. Nelson. I was going to say, but I mean...
Yeah, he plays coach.
Between dealing with a ghost and trying to make sure that his team gets into a bowl game, this guy had his hands full. Am I right?
I think you're right. So the daughter is constantly watching static on the TV and talking to the television, and the family just thinks she's, it's a kid. She's 5. Well, it's just what they do.
I know. This movie kind of scares me. My daughter is, she's 7, and the other day she drew a picture of herself watching Saw 2. And the scene she drew that she was watching was a guy, it's a stick figure of a guy picking up another guy about to throw him into a pit of needles.
I believe that was a girl.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, she...
But she drew a guy.
Yeah.
Either way.
Or I just thought it was a guy with long hair.
Was that you?
No, she also has drawn Slender Man
Uh,
and the Slender Family, which apparently makes children murder children. So
Wow.
a little nervous.
That was a real news story.
yes, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
It's
a little
the girl
nervous.
Stabbed as a little girl.
in the Scott
The
household.
Slender Man made them do it. That's
Does she
ridiculous.
not watch Disney movies at all?
No, she does. It's weird. She also Frozen's her favorite movie, but
you
then
ever-
close second, Child's Play.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and she's just standing at the end?
I sleep on the couch. I can keep an eye on
Sorry.
that bitch.
Does she ever stand at the
He
end
quite
of the
often sleeps.
futon?
He quite often sleeps with the blanket over his head.
Yeah.
Because they can't get through the force field.
But I love it. I love how unique I like. Because she'll tell strangers. We may have mentioned this before, but she doesn't even call them scary movies to people. She'll be like, "Do you like horror movies?"
Yeah.
You're like, you're 7. What do you know about horror movies? More
It's
than you
adorable, though. It's adorable. Funny kid. So anyway, so this
anyway.
kid's watching Static.
Yeah, she's watching Static. Carol Ann Freeling, it's a Freeling family. She's watching Static, and she's talking to the TV on a regular basis. The
And
parents don't
sitting
understand
really
what's going
close.
on.
It's gonna be bad for her
Bad
eyes.
for her eyes. Especially those old CRT tubes. Those things are horrible. So she starts telling her parents that she's talking, that they talk to her, and they're like, whatever, you're a kid, you're just crazy. Until the mom finds, one of the main things that draws the mom to understand that there's really something weird going on and freaks her out, they're in the kitchen. This is a great scene. They're in the kitchen, she's talking to the daughter, and she's like, did you do that? Because the chairs are all moved out. She's like, no. So she moves all the chairs back in. She goes over to grab something, some cleaner out of the cabinet. She comes back, and all of the chairs are in a pyramid on top of the table. And the little girl is just sitting there like, yeah, I saw that shit, but we're not going to talk about it. And the mom's like, did you see that? She's like, did you see it? She's like, do you see him? She's like, no. She's like, do you see him? And the mom's like, no, we got to go. And she takes off because, there's some funny scenes in it too where like they put the daughter on the floor on a mat, put a helmet on her because they keep they put a chair in one spot, it'll slide the chair to the other side.
Yeah.
They're like playing with this like entity or whatever it is, and it seems like they're nice ghosts, quote unquote. But as time progresses, the entities start to play mischievous pranks on them and start picking on them and really kind of start scaring the crap out of all of them to a point where they feel like they need to get some help.
Can't ever trust ghosts.
Let's clarify. There's a difference between ghosts and poltergeist. All right. Jesus.
Well, okay, can't trust Poltergeist.
Well, see,
with
and
their
that's the
big
thing.
lips and their thick,
The
coarse
ghosts
hair.
were the ones that were just being friendly. In the movie, that's who was being friendly.
Casper.
The poltergeist, which is the demon that was after the ghosts, that's the motherfucker who was causing everybody all the headaches. So possessing dolls and like yanking kids in the
Which was
closets.
the... Go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the main things
I thought
about
you were
this,
going to talk about...
I am getting there. One of the main things,
I didn't want to step on
Yeah,
it.
one of the
See how
main-
I check
I
before?
appreciate it.
Like, by the way, everybody blew past my black joke minutes ago about the ghosts with their big lips and their thick, coarse hair. That's who you can't trust. No, we're too worried to defend, make sure everybody knew. Poltergeist is one thing and totally fucked up. I got heckled.
you good?
Yeah.
All right, take a breath. Anyway, so the poltergeist, when they realize that there's something evil going on, the poltergeist starts doing things like taking control of scary-ass clowns. For whatever reason, I don't know why they would have bought this particular clown, because that thing, just looking at it, was creepy in itself.
Feels
It
like
wasn't
everyone
a
in a movie always
friendly
buys
clown.
the creepiest.
Right.
Every time.
Cute little happy clown, creepy long-legged, long-fingered, screwed-up face clown. Let's get that one for the 5-year-old. So they have this clown, and the little brother, who's like 8 or 9 in here, he's afraid of this thing to no end. And Steven Spielberg actually said in some of the interviews that he did that one of his biggest fears were fucking clowns and scary-ass trees outside of his house. So that became a really, clowns having sex. The tree outside of their house, which I'll get to in a second. Like, the scary trees are another thing that just, like, made his imagination go haywire and scared the piss out of him. So this clown, the kid tries to throw a blanket over the clown, and it misses, and then he's just like, fuck it, I'll go to sleep. Then he hears the bells that are on the clown, because for whatever reason, let's put bells on the clown so when it does move, you know it. I guess that's a...
So it was
a warning.
Spielberg then? Do you think he was on set for this, for it all when they were shooting or anything?
They said he was on set almost all the whole time, because he was also doing E.T. at the
Well,
same
then
time.
here's something that's strange to me. Because he used his biggest fears of clowns and scary trees outside windows, but they used real human skeletons.
But that
Because it
wasn't
was
his
cheaper to
decision.
purchase than But I'm saying that wasn't a fear of his. He had no problem filming a movie with a real skeleton.
That goes back to Mr. Toby
But put
Hooper.
some makeup on that skeleton, and now all of a sudden it's a problem.
Right. That goes back to Mr. Toby Hooper's decision to go cheaper with that. But with everything else that they did, they went to that. That was the thing that was going to break them.
A lot of movies, that's the fact about them, is they're always like, yeah, they actually used real skeletons. Like, what do you want to bet that'll be the first credit I get?
You're an organ
Just be
donor.
my skeleton for Weekend at Bernie's 8.
It has to be credited.
Oh yeah, I want to get my SAG card.
Of course, posthumously. So the kid tries to.
I need that insurance, baby. Sorry, go
The
ahead.
kid tries to go to sleep. He hears the bell. He looks for this freaking clown on the chair, and it's gone. Obviously, that's going to be what's going to happen.
Scarier clown, this movie or Pennywise?
Oh, Pennywise, easily. But I think this movie set the stage for Pennywise to be as feared as he is.
Brent?
Pennywise.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the kid.
You know
looks up-
why? Because Pennywise would never have gotten taken out by a fucking 11-year-old. Apparently, in the book, he would have ate that kid's genitals.
Right.
And been done with the whole thing.
they would have floated. But
And Pennywise, you turn into a gigantic spider.
That's right.
yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Next time it comes up.
The only way to beat it is the
That's
back
burned-
of
that's-
middle-aged men to rip out the heart.
That is now burned into his memory for life.
Yeah, for those of you who maybe haven't heard some of the earlier episodes with Phil Brinton, we actually had Stephen King's It in a battle, taking on Halloween. It was our first Halloween-themed episode.
Uh-huh.
And I won with Stephen King's It.
Because I forgot to mention that he turned into a
He
spider.
never once mentioned the giant, horrible effect spider at the end that ruins the movie
The
for
big
everyone who's
space
ever
spider.
seen it.
That guy that did it also directed Wild Wild West.
But he admitted he has a thing for spiders. That's why they're in all of his movies in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Vic, that was the joke. Started to call you Corey.
Notice I laid back on that one.
Which is impressive for you.
Thank you.
So continue.
Anyway,
So the clown...
he looks under the bed. The clown isn't there. He sits back up. The clown's behind him. Wraps its long ass fucking arm around his neck and chokes him out yanks him under the bed. In which he fights with the clown and rips the stuffing out of it finally. Because I guess that was enough for the Poltergeist had enough playing with him.
What if the clown was just like, dude, I just thought you liked that.
I thought she wanted a hug.
Fuck, bro.
Safe word.
Thought she was into this.
Safe word. So another really a big part of this movie was when the tree comes crashing through the window and literally eats this poor kid. This kid goes through hell. This little boy goes through hell. The tree comes in, grabs him, and tries to swallow him, in which Craig T. Nelson then goes outside, climbs a tree, and yanks him out of this tree's maw. Like, there's just something going on nonstop through this entire movie. Like, from start to finish, there's little fun things, but then it like gets scary and scary and kind of builds and builds and builds. So you figure out that the main reason why all this is going on is because they have some pretty crappy architects and people that built this neighborhood. Instead of removing the dead bodies from the cemetery that they built the neighborhood on top of, they just moved the headstones and plunked the houses down on top of them because that's a lot easier.
Who's
to
gonna
do.
know?
Yeah, until you dig up the bodies and they come up in your pool, and that's a horrible thing.
You know what's an interesting fact? Drew Barrymore was considered for the role of Carol Ann, but Steven Spielberg said he wanted someone more angelic and sober.
Because she was doing fifths at 5.
And the clown and the tree scene, do you remember what movie that was parodied in?
Parodied in?
Yeah.
Like that they parodied. They did a
parodied-
parody of, right?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know, Brad?
I do not.
Scary Movie 2.
Ah,
That would be
with
one.
where is that where he rolls him up?
Yeah.
The
Right.
smoke part of the lance?
Oh, shit, son. What's the Poltergeist?
Very underrated
Oh,
comedy.
it's a really fun
I never.
movie.
That's the one I didn't like.
The whole scary movie franchise, I think, is good until you get to that last god awful fifth one.
I never did
just
watch that one.
Have you seen it?
Is that the one with
You
the
need to
aliens
see-
in it or something?
No, that was 4.
You need to see 1 and 2. That's
I
all
think
you
that's the
need.
only one.
No,
saw.
I thought 3 and 4 were great.
I thought
Charlie Sheen was great in 3, and then 4 just
4 had that different dude in it.
yeah, and they did the whole War of the Worlds
War,
thing,
yeah.
and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I liked Kevin Hart a lot in the 4th
I
one.
like the 4th one too.
But the 5th one, oh, so many just forced topical jokes that you could tell this movie had been in production for a few years. Because that's always the worst when you watch a parody movie, when the jokes are a few years back. Like 20, what was the one where they did all the little short films? Like the first one has Hugh Jackman with balls.
Movie 50.
Movie 43.
Movie 43.
Some of that stuff felt really dated. In a way. A little bit, I thought. Because it was they had the movie for like 6 years before they finally got to release it on something. But I think that movie's funny too.
I thought it was funny.
All right, anyways.
So it goes on and on. The family's basically trying to get rid of this ghost. The ghost ends up taking the little girl into the poltergeist ends up kidnapping the little girl into the closet. Which is really interesting because the closet seems to be the epicenter for the poltergeist to come through. It's like a portal to the nether realm or whatever the hell this thing's coming from to get them, and it sucks her into it. To take her, and because the beast, which is what it's called, the poltergeist is called the beast, is trying to take all of the souls from the people that are stuck underneath this house and consume them and take them to hell. They're all trying to get to the light, and they think that the little girl can get them there because they keep talking to her through the TV. So I'm guessing that's what they think the light is. Mm-hmm. So it takes her, it seals her, and they have to try to get her back. They call in some paranormal what do they call them? Paranormal investigators. Bring them in, try to figure something out. Another good scene with Craig T. Nelson is he's like, "Yeah, we don't go in that room anymore." They're like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, is there a problem with the room?" He's like, "Yeah, we don't go in there anymore." And he takes them upstairs. And it's not like they're waiting for something to happen. He opens the door and steps away. Fucking chair, like the bed spinning around in the middle of the room. The Incredible Hulk doll's riding a horse around the room. There's a light that screws itself in and turns on. Like, just all kinds of weird shit going on in this room. They're all like, well, yeah, shit's haunted.
That's what happens when
definitely no two ways around that.
You catch the toys moving in Toy Story. That's what happens.
That's a whole different movie.
So here's the thing. They said they don't go in that room. They should have just not gone in the house. I mean, I don't know how long you have to sit there and see weird shit going on for you to say, yeah, we're just going to move. Yeah. We're just going to get out. I might even be to the point where I'm just like, just leave everything.
He's the top salesman for that whole community. What does it look like if he moves out?
You ever had a 30-year mortgage? Ridiculous.
Black man ain't living in that house, is he, man?
Hell no, I was out the minute that shit started.
What? Your crown did what?
It was like, get out, bye. Here's your keys. I left it how I found it.
Teresa, fuck the shit. We going to your mama's. You know where all your cousins be on the pull-out, and you got to sleep on the floor, bruh. No, it's cool, guys. I've got a co-host who's black, so it's totally cool.
It's all good. He won't be yanked off his own website or anything. So they get the paranormal investigators to come in and try to help them get rid of the demon or the ghost or whatever it is. And they finally figure out that it's not a ghost that they're dealing with. They're dealing with a poltergeist. And like you're saying, the difference between a ghost and a poltergeist is a ghost is just an entity that's trapped here that's trying to go to the light or whatever. Whereas a poltergeist is something that's never been alive. It's just a paranormal entity that's trying to do bad things to the place.
Just a ghost who's a dick
to
be
a dick. It's just a ghost that does dick moves
all day long.
Don't call
me poltergeist, call me Rick.
So it just basically, and the movie's just, like I said, the movie's very fast paced. It just keeps going. It starts kind of funny, kind of humorous, and then like fun, and then turns a little bit like dark, and then it gets darker and darker, scary. And then by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's just like, holy shit, this is ridiculous. If this actually happened to somebody, I would just be like, fuck my life, I'm done.
See, there's a difference between Poltergeist, a movie about dumb people doing dumb things and not leaving, and my movie about a boy who is born the product of Satan and the parents not being able to do anything at all.
They could have done something. They could have dropped his ass off the bridge, kicked him in that water at the beginning of the movie, and been done with it.
What, you think he just would have drowned?
Well, yeah, he would have drowned. There wasn't anybody to protect him.
He's the son of Satan. The son of Satan doesn't drown.
You hold his head underwater for long enough, he will.
Holy water.
Do you believe a poltergeist is possible? Do you believe in that?
Honestly, I've never thought about it. I'm more inclined to believe in ghosts than I am poltergeists.
Brent?
Probably. I don't know. I'm open to a lot of stuff.
Vic?
Ghost for sure. Poltergeist, don't know.
Well, you hear about the family in Gary, right?
No.
Black family. But
Well, it's Gary.
living single mother.
Got a full
I don't know whether I'm laughing at you or him.
I thought he had the best comment. So there's this black monarch, and then they thought they were being visited by like a demonic presence that had taken over the kids. It was a huge news story. Like Indianapolis Star picked it up and stuff, and they had like people come out to the house, and allegedly these cops reporting that they had seen things. And I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical just because I feel like in this day and age, we would have gotten something on some type of camera, even if it's something moving or something like that. I was a lot more open to it, I think, 10 years ago.
I also heard that the guy from that show Ghost Adventures bought that house, and there's a documentary about it.
The Gary one?
Which, you said it was in the Star, so I sent a press release for my new album, Mr. Turkey, to the Star. So I guess the only way I'm getting anything published is if it's a haunted album. Which is actually haunted, so...
The album is...
Pick that up.
The album is...
The Star.
Somebody pass this along to Michael Pointer.
So the Omen is about an American, what is he? An American ambassador, played by Gregory Peck, who is amazing in this film, and
Amazingly boring. No. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's subjective.
Vic is getting aggressive.
I know. Anyway, he and his wife, played by Lee Remick, they try to have a baby and they lose the baby. Actually, they lose the baby, but
gained to life.
They
Social
did
life.
because what happened was when she gave birth, it died, but they had this other baby. They got switched because Gregory Peck, switched at birth. She did not really give birth to Damien, but she thought that Damien was her son. It wasn't until a little while after he'd been alive for a few years that they noticed his scalp was a 666, which is the mark of the beast.
I didn't know that till the end of the movie.
Huh?
You're skipping around.
Well,
That's the right way.
I said later. Anyhow,
Why did they jump to the conclusion that he was the devil's kid when they saw the 666? I would have been more optimistic, like, oh my God, my kid is in the Illuminati. Oh, shit's about to change around here.
so anyway,
See what he did to this babysitter? Motherfuckers better believe.
so as Damien starts to get older, some weird things start happening. He has a nanny that on his birthday goes up into it's like a 2 or 3 story house. It's almost like a castle looking type of house. Before she jumps out the window with the noose around her neck, says, "This is all for you, Damien," and then jumps out the window and kills herself in front of all the party goers, and of course everybody freaks out. They don't really understand why she did it, but obviously this is the first death in what
It's because she got hypnotized by the dog.
Well, yes.
Nowadays, motherfuckers be taking selfies with her.
They're like, "Don't cut it down yet. It's my turn." Pulling out the selfie stick.
Yeah.
But his parents don't realize that, but there's as time goes on, some weird things start happening, and Damon even tries to kill Lee Remick's character, and eventually, I won't go there. Anyhow, he does try to kill her, and it doesn't happen, but she does end up being bedridden for most of the movie. And while Gregory Peck tries to figure out what's going on, he ends up at one point going to a priest who ends up being killed in a very gruesome death where there was like a steel pole came down and went right through his body, which was pretty cool as far as effects go. Another guy that researches these type of things, and he was talking to him. He ends up getting killed by a plate of glass that cuts.
Worst freaking.
I know.
This piece of plate glass comes down, hits him in the throat, right? And you see his head pop off and like roll on the glass and then hit the ground. And like as soon as you see his head pop off, you can tell it's just like like a dummy.
Yeah.
It was like a mannequin head. Like it wasn't even like a very well done like prosthetic. It was just a mannequin head.
Well, it was the 70s. I mean, come a little slack. But so throughout the whole film, he's trying to figure out, what's going on, and he does realize.
I don't know. In Blackula, they made the skull, the whole face melt off. It was a pretty good effect. But that was no problem there.
Yeah.
Dracula's soul brother.
So
It's an actual sound clip.
So he ends up spending the rest of the movie trying to figure out and trying to stay away from Damien as well too, and not be killed himself. And this movie is
Sucked?
No,
Yes.
does not suck.
Sucked.
This
Look, you want to know who the best actors in this entire movie was? Because the entire movie went like this. Damien's possessed. Damien's evil. Can you come, the babysitter? Where did you come from? Oh, they sent it. Like, that's the tone of the entire freaking movie. The best actors in the movie, the baboons. They were the best actors. They showed more range of emotion than anybody in this whole movie. Like, they saw this kid, they were like, oh, shit. And then they were like, that kid's evil. And they were like, let's get the fuck out of here. And they were like, no, fucking kill it. They all went after him. Like, that was the best actors in the whole freaking movie.
When you got a soundtrack like this, and you see Damien's creepy ass, no emotion face staring back at you,
No.
that's
Let me tell you what this music does. This music tells you when you're supposed to think that there's something scary going on. Like, whenever there's, like, a scary point for the movie, this, like, was Ave Satani starts playing. So it's like, when you hear that music, you're supposed to be scared. Like, it has to cue you to when to be scared.
All right, hold on. This is the scene where you see Damien, like...
Oh, yeah.
The big
This
reveal.
plays throughout the whole movie.
That's every time there's supposed to be a scary point, they start this playing. So
Now,
you know to be scared.
Let me ask you this. How much different of a movie would it have been if instead of that music, it would have been... Damien's
It wouldn't have been as fucking stiff, that's for sure.
Damien's just dancing, shuffling back and
I'll
forth.
tell you what, though. That music, though, did win an Academy Award for Best Original Score. So I think that is saying something.
Yeah, the music is the best part of the movie. The movie sucked. You're trying so hard.
Nope.
You're just proving my point. The scariest point of the movie is that music.
No.
And all the things that happen in the
this
movie are
music
trying.
combined with the environment that they ran and the creepiness of Damien. Damien is a freaking creepy ass kid.
He's a little kid that just stood there staring at the
That is
camera the whole
the spawn
time.
of Satan.
They don't know this until the very end when the guy goes, oh, by the way, he's a spawn of Satan.
It doesn't matter. You, the viewer,
There's
know
nothing
that.
scary about that
You,
kid.
the viewer, know that, and you hear this.
The whole thing is
No.
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 It's boring. It's so monotone. Like, the whole movie is so monotone. Literally, like, if you watch this movie, the entire time you're watching it, that's all you get from them is, he's like, oh my God, where did Damien go? The kid's lost. Like, 2 seconds into the movie, they can't find this kid. So this is how good parents they are. They're walking along this trail, and they've got, like, a 3-year-old walking behind them on a hobby horse, and they lose him within, like, the first 2 seconds of the movie. Then they're running around trying to figure out where this kid is, and they're like, if I lost my kid, you lost your kid, you'd be like, where's... You'd be like, Harbor! You'd be screaming like everything else. They're like, Damien! Damien! And, like, there's no emotion in it.
What was the change in that voice from me yelling for Harper and just besides the name?
I was going to yell louder, but I didn't want to yell in the mic.
I tell you what, though, and this movie is one of my favorite, not only in my top 100, but it's also in my like top 10, maybe even top 5 horror films, because it is so creepy. And
now, wait. Is it in your top 100 movies and your top 10 horror movies, or did you just start from
It's in my top 100 horror movies. No, it's in my top 10.
You gotta move it up.
No, it's in my top 100 all-time movies.
Just
You should look it up.
And it's in my top 5
like I'm
horror
working
films.
Like that wasn't the first thing I was going to do,
I
Vic.
believe I have it ranked number 2 in horror films.
Backpedaling.
No, I said top 5.
What's
Anyhow,
number one?
Halloween.
Okay.
Of horror?
Yes.
So let's talk about what other people thought about your movie.
Sure.
So according to our other great sources of information, Rotten Tomatoes.
All right.
Rotten
Welcome
Tomatoes.
back, Rotten Tomatoes. RT as I call it. What's the...
Gave your movie an 86% fresh rating, as opposed to mine,
Vic, I don't think
88.
you understand how that game is supposed to work. You went from 86 to 88, Vic, and you said
He had 86, I had 88. What's wrong?
it would have been better if you would have said, because you made it seem like he was going to have like a 40 or like the little green splotch of the shattered tomato, and you come in with your movie only got an 86. I got an 88.
You've gone from a 94 to a 92.
But it's the way I deliver it.
It's the same thing. It's killing me.
All right, let's see.
So let's talk about budgets. How much was the budget for your movie?
$2.8 million.
How much did it make? Gross.
Hold on, let me find out.
I can
just
tell you. I
happened
got
to
it right
look
here.
at it. Opening weekend, it made $4.2 million, and gross in the U.S. $60 million.
Mine made $76 million.
What was the budget?
1.7.
Is that correct?
A whole lot more.
I don't know if that's
A whole
factually
lot
correct.
more.
That doesn't seem like it's...
Either way, it doesn't matter. No matter how much a movie makes or what the budget is, it doesn't make it a better film. I wouldn't even, because I haven't even brought that up on any of the movies. I don't like to. I did it once maybe.
Because
But,
you know why he doesn't do it anymore? Because every time he does it, he loses the fight for it.
well,
Because he brings up how much the movie made. If you're going to bring up how many nominations, how many awards it made, all this stuff, then the amount of money that it makes counts as well too, correct?
no, because the awards are decided by a group of people that say, "Oh, this movie."
And
is
the
good.
money is decided by the people that are sitting in this room whether or not the movie is good.
No, because there are some shitty movies that made a ton of money.
Doesn't matter. It's still, we're the people. This isn't like the BAFTAs fucking trying to figure out whether or not this is better. This is a Showdown podcast for regular people. We're trying to tell them which movie do you want to see.
We're the podcast for the regular guy, for Joe the plumber, and for...
I mean, hell, look at Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Oh.
Pluto
You know?
Nash.
It's like, that may, let's see, where we at?
I have a feeling this is completely coincidental and good luck on his part, or he made a change earlier today. But Corey has the Omen at number 19.
And actually, I haven't logged in.
Which is in your top 10.
No, I said it's top 10 horror films, but it ended up being in the top 5.
Was that his horror
Oh,
film
did you
list,
look
or
him
was that
up?
overall? Or is that his
I've got a
overall?
horror list there, too.
Yeah, I'm looking.
And that's on Letterboxd D in case anybody wanted to.
Oh, shit, he got it. He's got it number 2. Vic, ooh. He came prepared.
Yeah.
Kinda.
This, and what's funny is, too, just coincidentally, both of our movies have remakes. Because mine was done. Mine was done in 2006, which
Who was in that?
that was Leah Schreiber and Julia Stiles, I
I
believe.
think I saw part of that.
That was for the 666 release, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
And I actually went
Do you think they made that movie specifically for that?
possibly
More
because
likely.
it was almost a shot-for-shot remake. And normally I don't like remakes. That's what started my little turn to where, okay, I can actually accept remakes. Not that I think it's any better than this, because obviously if it's close to a shot-for-shot remake, what's the point? But I thought it was really good. There were some differences in it.
There was a lot better acting in that one than the original. I'll tell you that much.
But I did go to the showing on opening day on 6/6.
The 666.
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't resist. Got to do it. But yeah, like I said, this is one.
Well, I can't comment on the new Poltergeist. I haven't seen it. But you said you see it? You saw it?
I saw the new one. You saw
I
it
saw
too,
the new
right?
one. I liked it.
I still haven't seen it yet.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I have not seen the original Poltergeist, but I thought the remake was garbage. It was really bad. And you have bad taste in movies, bro.
I liked it. I mean, what were you expecting?
Good movie.
It's a really good thing I didn't pick the new one, too.
Good movie. didn't have any good jumps. It just wasn't. Just not good.
Was it a perfect play? I mean, the story is obviously exactly the same.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one.
I'm sorry, I guess you guys didn't hear JR.
Now, you guys ought to see my favorite podcast, which is the Showdown podcast. That, we all, Troma loves the Showdown. That's the best.
It's commercial time at the Showdown Podcast. Let's start off with our guest, Brent Terhune. Brent, where can the people find you?
Yo, my album drops August 7th on iTunes, Spotify, and Pandora. Don't get it on Amazon because I don't make as much money. But my name is Brent Terhune, and just go to my website, brentcomedy.com, or just search my name on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Google that motherfucker. Corey.
You can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter at MKOGonzo, or as Doug Benson likes to say, MKOGonzo.
Wow, your new nickname is Corey Name Drop Miller. Vic?
Nice. You can find me online playing games on Xbox One at Black and Angry. That's BLAQ and Angry. Or you can find me on social media, MillerKing51.
And how does your name appear on the National Sex Offender Registry?
It doesn't.
Okay. All right.
Corey Miller.
C-O-R-E-Y.
That's your name. That's my name.
It's got a picture of you, too.
Damn it.
Links to everything, BradScottComedy.com. Yeah.
Your website?
For a second. We changed the address.
Biz to
from .gov. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And then you can find the show on Facebook, The Showdown Podcast. Click like. We're almost to 200. 30 away. Feels like forever with this page. Also, follow The Showdown Podcast on Twitter, at The Showdown Pod. Now, let's get you back to the show. Welcome back to the show.
The show.
Seamless. All right. So,
hopefully, you hope. You hope he cut that right.
Yes.
I'm not gonna
I don't trust him, but we'll go with it. Brent, do you have a decision?
Well, I've thought it over long and hard.
Here's that box again.
Yeah.
Go back to that trusty box.
Yeah. My decision for what movie you should go see is The Omen, because while there are iconic scenes in both, when I think about Poltergeist, I just know they're here. But then with The Omen, just the scene of the lady coming out of the window getting hanged, which is the correct word usage. There's a lot of stuff going on in that thick box. It's just more of an iconic film, and for me, stuff with the devil is creepier for me, just because because they bring in a guy to handle the poltergeist, but you can't bring in a guy to handle the devil because he's the devil.
It's not the devil. It's the son of the devil. He's not quite as scary.
Which I never really understand why the devil's got to have a son.
Why
can't the devil just do it?
Do you think he's like the boss's son?
Yeah.
Do you think he's like a
My
huge
dad's the devil.
douchebag? He's out at nightclubs just ordering.
It's because he's got a copy off a guy. He's like, well, he sent his son. I'll just send my son. You'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. Do you know who my stepdad is?
Beelzebub.
He thought my mom was hot.
All right. So my decision, after being in the think box for a while,
You went in there too?
Did you go in there together?
No, we had separate think boxes.
Okay.
Mine was a bit cloudier.
I don't know what you're getting at, but
That's my think box over there.
It's Adam and Eve.
Not Adam and Steve.
So this was kind of a tough one because I honestly didn't care for either of these movies. Yet again, I felt like these guys did a poor job with choosing. I mean, horror is a broad, it's a broad subject, and these were just two strange choices to me.
But this is my question to you on that. Why always go to the same ones everybody goes to is just not interesting.
I never said go to the same one.
Let's do Halloween versus. I can't do that.
Wait. We did Halloween versus Stephen King's It.
I'm just
a
giving
TV movie.
I'm just exactly, which was not exactly the same.
The Shining
thing. You could have gone with anything.
Psycho.
You could have gone with anything on that.
I know. I actually preferred the new Poltergeist to the old Poltergeist. And since Vic's being a dick to me, no, I'm just kidding. But you did still lose. Corey is the winner. I have to agree. I felt. He's right. It's a scarier movie. Poltergeist is PG. It was PG.
They had to get it dropped to PG. It was originally an R-rated movie.
Yeah, and they were like, oh,
they got it dropped to PG just so they could add it on in more theaters.
Yeah, well, maybe they should have had.
What was your movie rated?
I didn't look, but I'm sure it was R.
The Omen?
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's an R.
Yeah, I'm sure that's an R.
They have a woman that gets hanged outside of a window.
What part of this is scary, though? Not one bit of that movie is honestly scary. There's nothing horrifying. You're going to tell me that movie does not scare? That music does not scare me at all. There's no way that you're going to tell me you walk into a house and that music's playing, you're going to be scared?
Yeah.
Hey, Vic, do you know how you get wine? Sour grapes.
There's nothing scary about that movie. No, it's the 2-on-1 fight that I hate.
You won the last match. You were the defending champion.
I feel like that was a pity win from you.
No, but I can tell you this: you're never going to get it.
Here it goes.
If I had to choose between the two, and I've never even seen the Omen. I've seen clips, but I do remember that baboon scene. I did see it when I was a kid. I just don't remember much of it. And I remember that baboon scene scared the shit out of me.
That was the most entertaining.
And had you reminded everybody about the braces scene, and there's another scene that you forgot.
The meat scene.
The meat scene, like that. I might have been more. It might have reminded me how dark the movie got. You just kept saying it was dark. But then you were talking about the clown in the tree, which is, to me, not that dark. It's creepy and everything, but not dark. The braces thing was dark. You fucking lost.
You done, son.
Yeah.
Until next time.
A good choice for you would have been It Follows, which I recently just saw. And
tell us about it, Brad.
Yes, Brad, tell us.
I tried to talk about this movie before, but no one had seen it.
Yeah, we did. But no, it's really good. It's about a girl who sleeps with this guy, and then he tells her that she has this STD.
Herpes.
Paranormal STDs.
No, it's
chlamydia.
It's worse because they might find a cure for herpes. It's a disease where basically she's going to start seeing creepy dead people following her slowly. Mm-hmm. And if they get close enough to touch and grab her, they will fuck her to death. And she will die.
Literally. That's exactly what happens.
And then he's like, you can't. He's like, here's the thing, but they're slow, but they're not dumb. So you can outrun them, but you can't just you can't do the thing where you run into a room and then they follow you in and you have a fake mustache and you have a monocle. You can't do that.
But he went out the window.
But he's like, if you drive and drive and drive, you'll buy yourself some time because they're just walking, And that got me thinking, what if that shit was real? That was a real STD you could get where it was just some creepy dude following. I feel like almost every girl would just probably kill herself, but I feel like dudes would find a way to live with it. You'd see a guy at the club who's like, hold on, play. Man, It Follows is acting up on me. No, come on, baby, it's okay. We just gotta go to the other side of the bar.
It's walking circles.
And that's Steve. He almost had me last week. It Follows acts up. I'll probably have to just drive a few hours tonight.
Just gotta do some laps around the club.
So it got me thinking, what would be if you could have a creative STD? That like, what would be the worst? Like,
What do you mean?
Like, okay, well, this is obviously not
Side effect of STD.
like, yeah, the side effect of an STD of sex, like.
Okay.
Like if it could be something like, okay, remember the movie Teeth? Where the
This-
girl's
I
vagina
didn't-
has teeth.
I did not see it, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so something like what would be a crazy fucked up STD?
How about? Oh no, that probably really does happen. I was gonna say one where, where like the first thing that came to mind was like jelly squirts out of you or something, but that probably does happen. So
Like a white jelly
yeah, I guess I was
full
thinking
of,
like
full
strawberry.
of unborn life.
I was thinking of jelly, strawberry jelly, but you had to go there.
I'm thinking it's not like the worst one would be something that tells on you. Like you get a growth that like
Oh, the talks?
yeah, and it's like don't mess with this motherfucker. He got AIDS. Like it just puts all your shit out.
Or like married dudes. Like he gets oh, come on, bitch. He been fucking his secretary.
And like, why you always got a scarf on? Because on the back of his neck, his mouth, it just starts blurting shit out.
You know goddamn well you ain't got no purple lipstick. How do you think you got on the couch? How do you think?
Why do you wear that ball gag backwards all the time? Shut up.
He's wearing a neck brace. All you can hear is it muffled.
My STD, but whenever a guy would finish, you would hear this noise.
Start dancing.
And that way, then when you finish, then even if you lied at the beginning about that you didn't have anything, you go, oh, hell no. But it's muffled.
Don't pull out.
If you pull it, it gets louder.
You have to have special like sound dampening condoms made to hide it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, why's that condom so thick?
It would sound like this if you.
Bruh, this bitch's pussy was so deep you couldn't even hear my horn.
All you heard was the vocal. Yeah, I think the tell on you STD would be wrong. You never get away with anything.
I had one, and it wasn't as good as either of those.
Or like the tell on you one would be like, no, I was at the movies, and you see her. He was at the movies.
You better check his credit card. Man, shut up.
What'd you say?
I thought we had a deal. That'd be funny.
Let's talk about horror movie scores. Corey, that was a huge point of your argument.
Yes, it was.
How are you not ready with any?
I don't have it up anymore. Go ahead.
Okay, so
How did I close it out?
way to be professional and prepared.
I didn't realize I was going to need it again.
I'd say probably my favorite is either the beginning theme of it or maybe Halloween.
Halloween, I love. That used to be my ringtone for a while.
That's kind of creepy, though. Like, the phone would be ringing and be like, oh, what? Oh, that's my phone.
Oh, shit, Mike Myers coming after me.
I have a set of Christmas lights that is Halloween. And every time you walk past them, it goes off.
See, when you said that the music was bad, are you a fan of Halloween?
Yeah.
Did you hear the thing about when John Carpenter showed it to people and they didn't think it was scary, but they said it needed music, and this is the thing that made it scary?
Yeah, and it's just so simple.
Yeah.
He just did it on the keyboard. Oh, yeah. You talking about this music?
Yes.
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
I know. Well, I was good.
You probably should just let that one ride, dude.
You know, the one horror movie that I thought had a really good soundtrack was 28 Weeks Later, and it's not like songs that it's just, instrumental pieces, but it was really good.
I thought is 28, was it 28 days later?
And then 28 weeks later.
Okay, I didn't know if it was that, and the first one was 28 hours
No.
later, which would be a pretty shitty coma. What's the first thing you would do if you were in a coma for 28 days and you woke up in that environment?
Oh, God.
Well, we know
Steal
you
me
die.
a flat screen.
And a generator, a DVD player, and hit up Best Buy.
I'm cracking open a red box.
I have that stuff in there scratched anyway.
Well, see, we already kind of covered this in one of the other episodes when we were talking about what we do for a zombie outbreak.
Oh, we don't have any of those listeners left.
that was 2 cycles ago. Now, I mean, like, if you wake up and that you're in that situation, I mean, you just got to find somewhere to hide until you figure out what's going on. You don't know what's going on.
You don't know what to hide from at first.
But like, you wake up and there's nobody around. Everything seems to be in shambles. There's a bunch of dead bodies. Like, you're just like, I probably should find a really good place to hide.
Be looking for a pussy. Trying to find that time.
Hopefully it's alive.
I would go to a sporting goods store because I would get guns, but I also get that padding that motocross riders wear. You can't buy
The leathers.
Plastic, son. You just can't.
This is my biggest thing about the whole zombie apocalypse thing. Okay, so first of all, I don't care what you are. You can't bite through duct tape. You can't bite through denim. Mm-hmm. Like if you have on jeans, you're pretty safe for the most part.
If you got a Canadian tuxedo on,
like you're pretty safe for the most part. So like it always cracks me up when you see these guys that like they grab their leg and the zombie has the wherewithal to move their pants leg up and then bite them.
yeah.
It's like, you're supposed to be a mindless creature. You're not supposed to know to move pants leg up and bite then.
I would just find a suit made of that hard plastic that all electronics come in.
You need a razor to cut it. They're all running around with those Walmart click knives on the cord. You have to hold it while you're cutting.
Yeah.
Corey, what are you doing first?
Well, like I said, I always thought my first thought would be to go to Walmart and go to someplace like that.
Not Beach Grove.
Dude, come on.
But we already
you'll be able to afford Target at that point.
Don't go to Beach Grove.
Since then, so yeah, I'm not gonna go to Beach Grove. I'll get attacked by it.
2 zombie women fighting over a dead body.
One of them's in a hover around, get out of it.
And her little zombie kids kicking the other one in the head.
It's history. It's hate.
Yeah, I'd have to search out for weapons first, and then find a place to board up somewhere.
If you don't have a gun, what's your go-to weapon?
Samurai sword.
Not easily found, sir.
Oh, well, I'll find one.
Have you ever been to a Southside Indianapolis?
You're going to get one swing out of that thing, and it's going to be gone.
Shit just breaks. Oh, man. I think the sword's the best option.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep swinging it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And
anything else, you're going to run out.
Yeah.
And a knife's too short. That's why the sword's it's like a long knife.
I don't think that's ever been said before.
Sword's like a long knife.
What would you pick, Vic? Nunchucks?
No. No. I would.
you just see him out there and swirl them around.
I would use a splitting axe, not like a regular wood axe. It's the big wedge they use for breaking wood.
I don't know. I think you'd get
it's
a lot.
hammer and an axe at the same time.
But I think you'd get a lot. I think you get really tired
your arms
quickly.
would get sore.
Like what if there's like
you can have the same problem with a sword. You
the swords are light.
so
a lot
you
lighter than
think.
an axe.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
light.
and I'm a lot bigger than you, so I'm okay
Well,
with it.
how about, have you ever gotten an axe stuck in wood?
Oh yeah, wow.
That's why you don't use it. That's why you don't use a
That's
bladed
why you don't
axe.
swing for the neck.
No, you don't use a bladed axe. That's why you use one of the splitters.
Oh, I got
It doesn't get stuck.
a sickle.
What are you, the Grim
Like a
Reaper?
Swords of Plowshare.
Yeah, because it's going to be a little bit more lightweight. It's designed to have you swinging back and forth all the time. It's going to stay a lot sharper, and I feel like it's longer than a sword's reach would
But-
be with the blade.
Here's your problem. if you're in a group with a group of people and they're around you, you might cut them too.
Fuck them. Get the fuck away. There's zombies attacking us. Why are you huddled around
Look,
me?
here's the deal. This is my circumference. If you're inside of it,
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I'm over there fucking swinging away as zombies,
doing the death blossom.
and Molly's coming up to me like, hey, babe, do you have your phone? I'm fucking just gonna die. But she would know better. Get your own sickle. That's what I would say.
From your own blood circle.
Actually, if you really want to get technical, I think the best thing to have would be a fucking ice pick, because that's what you're going to need. If they get close enough to you, that's...
Ice pick?
An
Yes.
ice pick?
Now,
Yeah, but look at how close they're getting.
they're going to get close to you.
That's gonna be gross.
If they get close to you, how are you going to swing a sickle? You get an ice pick, it goes in,
They're
it
not
hits the
gonna
brain,
get
it
close to me
pulls
because I
out.
got a fucking
That's what
sickle.
you hope.
Your circumference with even with going with his sickle,
They're
your
gonna get in.
circumference is
Hey,
going to be
they're gonna
a lot
get in.
farther away.
Hey, you
They're
know
gonna
what's
get
nice
in.
about my sickle? If they get too close, I just grab up on the edge of the blade, and now I got a fucking ice pick.
That's what'll get stuck. You get a screwdriver, sharpen that bitch down.
You know what the best thing to do to keep zombies away is? I would play Mr. Turkey, the album, the new album by Bridges
Just
Hughes,
blast it,
drops
they all go in
August
the other
7th
direction.
on iTunes. You'll want that in the chamber.
I got a 6 CD changer. Everyone is a copy of my album.
And I go into Best Buy and tell them I'm having problems getting it out because the shit's fire. It's melting. And then they pull it out and they say, what are you talking? I said, that's for you, son.
That's for you.
Fam. Oh, I should have dropped off Jeff Fibbert. Fam.
There was a movie that came out a while ago, and I can't remember what it was. But basically what it was a little girl died from, she didn't have her inhaler, and she died, and she kept calling to try to get somebody to help her. And the ringtone goes off, and I've been trying to find it, but it's this really creepy-ass ringtone. And I had it as my ringtone for a while, but, like, every time someone would go to die, like, they would hear that ringtone, and then, like, shortly after that, they would die, because I meant she was coming after them. I just can't remember what it was now.
Is it the sound from The Grudge? You know
No, that sound is ridiculous.
I went and saw that with this girl I was briefly living with at the time, and like we're laying in bed that night, and she was telling me how terrified she was, and so I started doing that sound.
That clicking, like, whining noise.
And she wakes up, and she's like, and then the next thing is the stray cat outside goes, meow, and I fucking the Grudge is here! The kid is in the room! I'm punching any Asian child in my way.
In my store, so we were closing down the store, right? We have everything shut off, and when at night, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, everything's shut off. There's like no light in there. You're coming out through through laser tag, and it's just pitch black. And I heard that noise, and I was like,
What noise?
That Grudge noise.
That noise?
Yeah, I hear that noise, and I'm like, what the f-? I'm beating the hell out. I'm beating whoever's in here. One of my employees was hiding in the laser tag, making that noise, just being an idiot.
Oh my!
I was like, I thought everybody was gone. Like I was usually the last one out of the building, and then I hear that, I'm like, what the fuck? I was done.
Next thing you see is Vic running down Circle Center Mall.
Dude, speaking of ghosts, I walked into my store. So we have this thing in there. It's called the White Blur, and everyone has seen this thing at some point, and a lot of people who have worked there will tell you that this is a true thing. So I walk into my store. I'm going towards that same back power room to turn on the lights. I go to reach for the door handle. The door shuts. Like I was reaching for it. I almost grabbed it, and the door shut.
Is it the night?
No, it's early in the morning.
Okay.
It's like early in the morning. The door just shuts. I was just like, okay. So that just happened. And now I'm like, if there's somebody in there, come out of the picture. I was like, threaten it. That's the only thing I can think of. Threaten whatever's in there. So I was like, do I want to open this door and like have somebody in there? Or do I want to open this door and find nobody in there and then be like, oh fuck, the ghost is here? Because like this door, and it's not a light door. Like we have those heavy security doors. So, and it doesn't close all the way unless you push it shut. That's why it was like half open anyway, because they didn't push it shut.
Yeah.
So when I went to reach for it, there's no way that door would have just gone doof and closed itself, because it has to be like yanked to close or pushed really hard. There was nothing in there, So
you opened the door and there was nothing.
I opened the door, and it took me like a half an hour to go in there. I was like, I went out.
He left.
I went out. I got cameras in the laser tag. I went out to my office and I was like, well, maybe there is somebody in there. So I was giving him a chance.
Vic was on CPT for his ghost experience.
So I walk into my office, I put the cameras on, I'm looking, I was like, all right, nobody walked out, so I'm guessing there's nobody in there. I opened up, I was hoping somebody would be in there, so at least it'd be, like, justified.
I just imagine a ghost is just behind there, like, just crouched and waiting.
Checking his watch.
It's about time you came in here.
I thought you were going to come back a couple minutes ago.
Wait, did I hear something? I swore I heard him coming up to the door to shut it at the right time. Corey, have you had a paranormal experience?
No, I have not.
None?
No.
Never?
No.
Nothing even like any little close calls?
Not
Nothing?
that I'm
Nothing's
aware
ever
of.
made the hair stand on the back of your neck and, like...
No.
The only time I've ever come close, I think, I was at doing a show at the Marietta, Ohio, at the
Lafayette's.
Yeah, and that's supposedly haunted.
I have been there several times.
The hallways are like The Shining.
Yes.
And,
yes.
I'm on stage doing my ghost hunting jokes, and I'm talking to the audience about how it's supposedly haunted, and I get a big laugh, as you can imagine. And when I get the big laugh, I feel like there's a whisper in my ear, but I had to keep going with the show, so I couldn't like turn around and be like, but that was the only time I had anything happen to me.
During the show? Because like when...
Yeah, when I was on stage.
Because I've...
Did you hear it, or was it just...
was like there's laughter, but it was too close to my ear.
Oh, gotcha.
In a whisper to be something else. So...
I did remember I had one. I'm being told of another one that I don't remember, but there was one time
That's our executive producer, Kristen Miller. She is
calling him on his shit.
I'm getting a notice from the producer's lounge. No, there was a time. This was.
She's saying you need to stop doing this dumbass podcast in our kitchen.
This was several years ago, and down towards Martinsville, there's a park. It's like, I don't know, just north of Martinsville. And if you don't know Martinsville, it's a really, Vic doesn't want to go
I'd
there.
stay away from Martinsville.
Yeah, Vic doesn't want to go there. So anyhow, because of the history of Martinsville, it's obviously really racist, but there was a lot of KKK back in the day. We went down
Thank
there.
God you didn't do, and I'm sure you've heard this traveling some of these. Every fucking small white town was the birthplace of the KKK.
Yeah.
Like no one truly really knows exactly where it was.
I was told Brownsburg was.
Every small white town. Did you know that's where the KKK was started? Over there in Green fucking Duckyville or whatever.
Green Tuckyville.
So anyhow,
In Whiteland.
Which, ironically, is full of black people.
Is it really?
But Brownsburg is full of white people.
Wait, Whiteland?
I don't know.
Because Brown County was full of white people at the Nauber Festival.
Leafing.
So anyhow, we get this idea to go down there because we heard about the quote-unquote Black Lady's Grave. And what it is a bunch of, back in the day, I'm not even sure of the right year.
2008.
Yeah. The KKK apparently had buried this lady. So they killed her and buried underneath this tree. So, and now that she's dead, there's her ghost is there, her spirit's there, so you can see her. So we get this idea to go do it, and it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and there's a group of us. There's like 5 or 6 of us, and one black guy with us. So
It's a trap.
That's my standard answer. It's a trap.
So we're walking through.
These white people was taking me to some place called Black Dude's Grave.
A bunch of white people took me to a place where a bunch of white people killed a black lady. I'm thinking this is a repeat.
So now as I'm telling the story, it is actually kind of odd.
I was like, when was the murder? When did the murder happen? They was like, in about 45 minutes.
Why come this whole being filled again?
Why come?
So
I do that for all races.
So So we start walking. Now you have to park, and there's a guardrail to where you can't drive any farther. So we park the cars there, and we start walking back. And we get to the area where it's at, and if you look on one tree, it looks like there's a wolf's head is coming out of the tree. And it's just with the lighting. I'm not sure what it looks like in the day. And so as we're walking back, we're in that area. We don't see anything, but
is that part of the directions?
Yeah.
Take a ride at the wolf's head tree.
But it's right in that area.
Wait, how do I know which one is the wolf's head? Oh, you'll know.
Just look at the moonlight.
So before we get back there, though, the trail splits off onto a second side. I'm like, what's down the other side? So we go down the other side, and we hear something. So we stop, and everybody stops and starts looking around. And we start seeing these, like, white spots around us. We all freak out and take off running. But
it's the same bitch from Vic's store.
I know it. And so we end up taking off running. We end up not seeing anything. We end up going deeper back into the park, and there's another place where you can go, and there's a cabin back there. And again, they've got a guardrail, so you can't drive any farther back. So we park the cars, and we walk back there. And we get about halfway down, we can see the cabin, and there's a car parked down there. I don't know how the car got down there. All of a sudden, the headlights flip on. Scare us the fuck out. And we take off running back towards the car. And the funniest thing was, you guys have met Stevie, and he passed every one of us.
Hey, look, when a fat man's scared, there ain't no stopping us. We're the fastest motherfuckers in the world, I'll tell you right now.
That's the only time I've really had anything. I don't even know what that second part was.
So your ghost was a car?
No, it's that first part. It was just that first part. Well, it could have been Christine.
Because, like, I'm a pretty skeptical person. So, like, I don't ever remember. But I will say, I'm very skeptical. The Lafayette is just a creepy ass hotel. Like, did you stay in the room? Because every time I was there, it was in the same room that had the pirate wheel above the bed.
And another time I had like the steam engine room, where it was like you would open up the thing to put in wood, so it would.
Oh, okay.
Every room was nautical themed.
Yeah, and it's just they're all really small rooms too. So like I'm kind of claustrophobic. So I've never once stayed the night.
Really?
I know I've
the market was the downtown the market, whatever that the city market. You know what I'm talking about? The city market, underneath of there is a catacomb. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. There's a catacomb under there. I guess it used to be used for slaves or whatever it was. But if you go down in there, like there's still chains and like all this stuff from it's right underneath the city market. It's the creepiest thing
How do you
ever.
get down there?
There's like a staircase. They'll take you. There's like they do tours of it. There's a staircase like in the backside of the market, and they take you down there. But it just looks like a dungeon. But there's like chains and stuff on the walls hanging from the ceiling, all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's our
but
next.
it's just
join us in 2 weeks. Showdown live.
It is
from
creepy down there. It is
from
creepy
Corey's basement.
Those places like that's like because I'm claustrophobic too, and like when you get in a place that has like low ceilings and you're like walking around in it, and it's like
Have you seen As Above,
So Below?
As So Below?
What is it?
As Above, So Below.
Is that one that's like in
where they're in the France in the catacombs?
Yeah, I've never watched it. I heard it was stupid.
Have you? No, obviously you have.
I
Have you
heard
seen
it was stupid too. I didn't watch it.
Is that the one where they're like
15.
they're at a party and they take her down to the catacombs and leave her in there?
No.
Okay.
I don't not know because this one she's
No,
like
I
going
think
to find it because her father was a researcher or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got into it and I watched like 15 minutes and I didn't think it was great. But a lot of times with found footage movies, it's gotta give it at least.
People
an
like,
hour.
there's a catacomb. You could get lost. I ain't going in.
Give it at least 2 hours.
You never know when they're just gonna. Hey, the last Exorcism was that way.
I didn't see that either.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. They give, keeping with the theme of the show, she gives birth to some demonic thing. At the end of that.
There's a lot of movies that end up where the devil has a kid.
VHS 2.
Oh, yeah.
Rosemary's Baby. Isn't that's the right one? And then there's another one.
Well, I think that was more. Was that? Yeah, I guess it was kind of a demon.
Yeah,
they say Hail Satan. So.
Yeah, they had Satan.
So that counts.
They brought her in and held her down while Satan raped her. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like, what's her name? Oh man, this would have been so much better if I would have known the reference. The chick from fucking Silence of the Lambs.
Jodie Foster?
Jodie Foster, and what's that movie where she gets raped on a pinball machine?
Nell? Oh, no, you're saying Taxi Driver?
No. I'm gonna...
The devil is like the ODB of the paranormal.
It just pops up out of anywhere and just does anybody.
Just give me my money.
I'll do it, daddy.
The Accused.
Never saw it.
I think that's it. Yes, the first scream was for help, the second was for justice. Yeah. So it was like Jodie Foster and The Accused, huh?
So you gotta cut that so that it's...
No, because then you got to pass up his joke. Vic, that was the whole joke, was that I did it a lot later, and they've heard this the whole time.
Hey, tag team.
Yeah.
That's Tracy's
Right?
episode.
Jesus. I don't know why I keep coming in. I mean, we schedule these, and I have so much optimism. One of you fucks it up every goddamn episode.
It's just the way it needs to be.
This is the time that we're going to announce that I'm replacing you on the show.
Fine, I'll take my mic and go home. Fuck you guys.
No, he's replacing Brad.
Well, he said me. He was looking
No,
right
I
at me.
meant
Oh, you meant
Yeah.
Brad.
I have a better mic.
So do I. He just couldn't get into work with that.
Oh, we enjoyed having you here. Mr. Turkey, whose album drops.
August 7th on iTunes, and it'll be at my shows too.
You having a record release party?
Yep, August 5th at the White Rabbit in Fountain Square here in Indianapolis.
And if you want to see Brent live and in person, find out all the information about his shows at brentcomedy.com.
Backslash. Funny ass
HTT.
shows. Just click on the tab that says funny ass shows. So thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's been fun, man. Thanks for coming.
It has.
This has been probably the funniest 2 episodes we've had. I really brought my A game.
And we're glad you did.
So, again, thank you for listening, Patrick.
Our loyal listener.
Make sure to check out the show. 2 weeks. We have, hopefully we have some good upcoming special guests. Matt Holt's going to join us at some point.
Skip that one.
Peace.
We'll try to get Jimmy Roberson on here. We'll, I think Corey's dad might do an episode. And Vic's parole officer will start doing some segments with us. So until next time.
It's going to be my pro officer.
Good play.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Don't ever forget, you can't show up until you show down.
You couldn't even say it with a straight face. You lost it before you even got it out.